guys, so today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me using all new makeup. All of this was shown in my haul, so I'll leave that link down below if you want to see that. Yeah, so let's just get right into this video. So my skin is already prepped and ready to go. I have moisturized and cleaned it and everything. I'm going to be keeping this look quite simple because I'm not really doing that much today, so I don't really want to do a dramatic eye or anything like that just to go out for a little bit. So yeah, let's start with eyebrows. So I'm going to be using the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil for my brows today. So I'm just going to comb them out and then I will fill them in. Mine is in shade 4, by the way. It's a little bit darker than what I typically go for, but since my hair is a little bit darker right now because I just recently dyed it, it matches perfectly. So just from using it, I'm noticing that it glides really smoothly on the eyebrow. Like, I don't feel like I'm tugging. I don't feel like it's a lot of work. Like, it just applies really smoothly. One thing that I noticed with my L'Oreal one, as I've used it a bunch now, it feels very waxy and it kind of goes on, I guess, clumpy. That's not really the word that I would describe it with, but I can't think of anything else. I also find that it doesn't take very long to fill in either. So yeah, that's one brow. Okay, so that's like partially done. I'm gonna go in with concealer really quickly and just clean it up, so I'll be right back. Okay, so the brows are done. I zoomed you guys in so you can see what I'm doing with the eyes. I'm gonna be using the Lorac Unzipped palette for this look. I'm gonna prime my eyes using MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm going to set that using this shade here called Undercover. I'm going to take this shade called Unconditional and put that in the crease. These shadows are super pigmented. Okay, there we go for the crease. Now I'm going to take a shade here called Unbridled. I'm going to use this in the outer corner. This shade looks so pretty. It's like a deep burgundy. So I'm using it on the Morphe M433 and I'm just going to be applying this right into the outer part of the eye. Look how pigmented it is. definitely need a lighter hand with these shadows, because especially darker ones, because they are very pigmented. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into my crease with a clean brush just to blend everything. Next, I'm going to be taking this shade here called Unbelievable, and I'm going to be applying this on the rest of the lid. So there is the completed eye look. Now we are going to move on and finish the face. Okay, so I'm going to be priming the skin using this Bare Minerals Skin Longevity Primer. It's a very liquidy primer. It smells nice though. It smells really like fresh. It feels like a more of a hydrating primer, so that's good for my skin. So I'm going to be going in with the MAC Mineralized Moisture Foundation. This is in shade NW20. I'm going to be using this like a knockoff Artiste brush that I showed in my haul. This was from Marshall's. I really like it. So I'm going to dot some of the foundation onto my face. And then just... What I do notice with this brush is it kind of pulls on the skin a little bit more when I'm blending it. But it's so soft and it just blends so beautifully into the skin. Like there's no patchiness, there's no streaks or anything. So I really like it. But it does kind of pull on the skin a little bit more. Now with this foundation, it is a very lightweight foundation. It does have a more dewy look to it, and it is a medium coverage, but it is buildable. I've been really liking this foundation so far. So yeah, that's about one layer of it, and you can kind of see some areas are still showing through. So yeah, I just make sure to blend that all on my neck because my face and my skin are two different colors right now. So I'm going to apply a little bit more foundation in the areas that I need some more coverage. You can definitely tell that this foundation's very dewy looking. So for someone with oily skin, this is probably not going to be a good foundation for you. I like this brush also because like I can get right by my eyebrows without messing them up, which I can never do with foundation brushes. I always have to be so careful or like go in with a sponge or something, because I always end up messing them up. But I like to do my eyebrows first just because they take the longest. So now I'm going to do concealer. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Mine isn't very fair. I don't really like the doe foot. I don't know, I just wish it was bigger. Like the Urban Decay one just is a perfect size, but it's not that big of a deal. With this concealer, it is a more light coverage. It's not, you know, full coverage concealer, which it doesn't claim to be either, so can't get mad at the concealer for that. So you just, if you want a more full coverage look, then you just kind of have to apply a bit more. But you can see like some of the redness and stuff. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but some of it is still popping through. It is a really nice feeling concealer. It feels very hydrating. It looks really dewy and pretty on the skin. Blends out really easily as well. The only thing is the coverage. That's my only thing that I'm not super in love with about it. But it doesn't claim to be a full coverage concealer, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit more to add a little bit more coverage, and then I'm also going to highlight areas. Oh, that applied a lot there. Sorry if I keep like looking over there, that's where my mirror is. So it's just easier to see what I'm doing. But you can see this concealer looks very dewy as well. Okay, I put my hair up really quick so it's out of the way, and I also did mascara while my phone was charging. So I'm gonna set my face now. I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D translucent setting powder. I'm gonna use this to set my concealer. This concealer creases like crazy if you don't set it, so it's definitely a concealer you're gonna need to set. So I'm just taking it on a damp sponge. Need a mirror. And I'm gonna apply a ton of this right under to let it bake. Go looking a little crazy. So I'm just gonna leave that and let it bake while I do the rest of my face. So I'm gonna set the rest of my face with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder. So I'm gonna contour now. I'm using the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette, and I'm going to be taking this middle shade right there to contour. Okay, so I suck at contouring, so we will see how this turns out. So I'm applying it using this Real Techniques contour brush. Just like that, and then I'm gonna blend it out. This is like a no-name brush. Like I have no clue where I got it, but I actually really like it. So I'm just going to use this to soften the contour. So So far, I'm actually really liking this contour palette from Makeup Revolution. I have used these ones here to set under the eyes, and I have tried this one for contouring. I've also tried these three as highlighters. They're really pretty as well. But I gotta say, it's actually a really good contour palette for $15. The powders are all very soft. They work really well and blend easily, and they're pigmented. Like, it's just a really good palette. So there's the contour on one side. I'm gonna go and do the other side now. Also, this middle shade is like my perfect contour shade. It's not too cool, but it's also not too warm. It's a really good shade for my skin tone. The thing that I found with the Kat Von D, I use the more cool tone shade because I do have more cool tone skin. So when I use a warmer shade, it just doesn't contour for me like it does for some other people. But I find with that one, it's a little bit too cool. So if I go too overboard, it ends up looking very ashy, very muddy, and I feel like that's why I always suck at contouring, because I always end up hating how it looks. But this one's perfect. It has a bit of coolness to it, but it's not too cool at the same time. So yeah, so that's the contour. Now I'm going to bake under that to clean it up a bit. Oh, I got powder everywhere. What I've been really liking about this powder is I can definitely see that it highlights in the areas that I apply it. And I also really like that there's not a whole ton of fallout with it. With a lot of loose powders, when I apply it, there just is powder going everywhere. But this one doesn't do that as much. Okay, so now I'm gonna let that sit. And you can see how more bright it looks under my eyes now. So now on to blush. I'm gonna be using this Kat Von D in Sid and Nancy. I'm just going to be mixing the two for my blush. And then just apply that right onto the apples and pulling that back. I definitely don't feel like this blush is super pigmented. It's not a blush that you have to be really careful with applying because of how pigmented it is. That's definitely don't feel like it is. And I also feel like it ends up being really uneven because of like swirling the two together. So like you can kind of see this area right here is really dark, but then up here is really light. So yeah, I don't know how I really feel about this blush. So next I'm going to be doing highlight. I'm using the Laura Geller Gilded Honey. This is so pretty. I love it. So I'm taking this just on one of the Morphe fan brushes. Look how pretty it is. Oh, I'm so obsessed with this highlight right now. Look at that glow. I apply a ton of highlight, I know. I love highlight, it's so pretty. And then I'm taking it down my nose, on my lips. There we go. I'm just gonna go back in with my blush brush to kind of help blend the highlight and blush together. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the powder down here away. I'm gonna quickly do mascara on my bottom lashes and then I'll be right back. I'm lining my lips with MAC Hip and Happy. Then I'm going in with this Makeup Revolution lipstick in Love Nude. It's just a really pretty nude color. And then over top of that, I'm going to add a little bit of gloss. So this is the Bare Minerals gloss in Sugar. Excuse my hair, it's a little bit of a mess. So there you guys go. This is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in my next video.